Okay, Proto Rail Reflex. Now, the common question we're going to get now is what's the biggest difference between the Rail Reflex and the basic rail? Now, the unboxing, this is the case that comes with the Rail Reflex is basically almost the same case that comes with the DM. Okay, you got the lube in there, you got the tools. It's not the fancy toolkit, it's just the Allen keys, but it's enough to get by. You also have the manual, comes with a little pack of O-rings, and comes with the barrel sock, warranty card, and stuff like that. Nice little case for you to store your marker in. Good stuff. Also, the barrel is interchangeable with dye, the dye ultralight barrels. Even though they look a little bit different on the outside, the threads are still exactly the same. So if you wanted to go with a ultralight back that's maybe a little bit tighter bore than the Proto back, you can still put it and use your front, save yourself about 40 bucks. So, Reflex. Biggest thing, probably about the biggest thing, the difference between the Reflex and the standard rail is going to be the cosmetics. The Reflex has got a little bit more aggressive lines. You've got like the little shiny pieces up here at the top, just some extra trimming. Also, the frame is all aluminum, and one of the things that they gave you, which is kind of cool, is they gave you the contact pads that also come on the NT, which feels really nice when you have it in your hands. The little pieces of contact rubber right there, just, I don't know, kind of gives a nice little soft touch. Also, you get a nice clamping feed neck, 2-piece 14-inch barrel, and the same on-off ASA that used to be on the DM10s and prior and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and bring the camera in a little bit closer. We're going to weigh it, and we're going to take it apart. Okay, now let's go ahead and take it apart. I'll turn on the scale here. There we go. Okay, and as you can see, a little bit of aluminum definitely adds a lot to the weight. So 2 pounds, 3.8 ounces. 2 pounds, 3.8 ounces. So definitely a couple ounces heavier than the original rail. Let's go ahead and take the bolt apart. Now, the reason why I'm not taking apart the Hyper 3 is not because I don't know how. A lot of people have complained that my videos are a little too long, so I'm trying to shorten the time as much as I can. If you have a Hyper 3 regulator and you would like to see how to take it apart, search on the YouTube channel Hyper 3 maintenance video, and you'll see how to take it apart. It's very simple. What you do is just basically slide this part down, grab this with a pair of pliers, take the big Allen key, I believe it's the 3/8, you can pop the top cap off, out comes the piston, lube it, put it back together in, very simple. So, let's go ahead and remove the 2-piece barrel. And let's go ahead and slide this back. Here's an Allen key. There we go. Put this and get this out. Now, the Reflex uses a faster acting solenoid than the rail does. The Reflex can hit probably 25 balls per second. The rail can only hit about, I believe the rail only hits about 15 balls per second. The Reflex operates at a dwell, I believe, of 18 milliseconds. So it's going to shoot a little more traditionally like the classic rail or like a DM. Basically, that shoots kind of like a DM, but with the LPR cranked up a little too high. Not exactly a bad thing, but you definitely feel if you shoot this gun versus a DM, you're definitely going to notice the DM being a little bit smoother. And the reason why is because it has an LPR on the DM versus the Reflex does not, so you can do a little bit more fine tuning. But as you can see here, is basically the same bolt that we saw, basically almost identical to the same bolt that we saw in the rail. You can see the massive bolt bumper here that's here in the front. Definitely helps add to a little bit of a smoother shot than a smaller bolt bumper. Just a little bit more vibration absorption when the bolt slides forward. There we go. We'll put this back together again. Now, if you happen to break paint, how you remove the eyes is just take your fingers, put it inside here, and out comes the eye pipe. Very simple. Now at the bottom of the eye pipe there is an indexing ring here, or an indexing notch, and obviously as you can see here the balls come in through the top here, so you just kind of put it on your fingertip wiggle it around a little bit, and it'll go in. Sometimes you need to use your other finger to help kind of guide it in. There we go. And the eye pipe is back in. We'll go ahead and slide this back into the gun. There we go. Okay. And that's how you basically take it apart. You want to check out how to take apart the Hyper 3, just go check out the Hyper 3 maintenance video. Very, very simple. So let's go ahead and go out and do an efficiency test and come back for the conclusion. All right, about to do the efficiency test on the Reflex. And you see on the gauge, I believe we're sitting about 4,600 PSI. And let's go ahead and take a tank temperature reading. And we're sitting at about just under 90 degrees. And now we'll do is we'll get our chronograph here. Load up our first pod. Okay, let's turn that up a little bit. It's sitting at about 270. All right, two. There you go. All right, go ahead. Looks like about 7 and a third pod. Thank you. Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap up the Reflex rail. I think this gun is priced exactly where it should be at. Okay, $500 is exactly where this gun should be priced at. You've got the packaging, you got the supportive die, you got the eye pipe in here, so you get a little bits of technology here and there of more expensive guns, which is always really nice when you're looking for a mid-priced gun. You know, you got the ultralight frame, which a lot of people really like. You've also got the Hyper 3 regulator, which is proven to work on the NT and also on the DM11. You got the two-piece barrel that the threads are interchangeable with the ultralight barrel, and also you've got a nice clamping feed neck, basically the same clamping feed neck that comes on the DM11 and also on the NT. But this gun is priced exactly where it should be at. It is worth $500. It shoots like $500. It is priced exactly where it should be at. I love the little detailed trimmings here with the chrome on the top and stuff like that. I definitely really like this little contact pad. One of the things I really like about the NT is those rubber contact pads. They just seem to feel really nice in your hands when you're out there playing. But you know, the gun's a little bit heavy, you know, a little on the heavier side, especially for not having the LPR on here like the DM does. It still weighs up there. It's got DM weight. But one thing I noticed when I was out there on the field is it does seem to shoot a little softer than the previous rails. Previous rails tend to hit pretty hard. I don't know if it's just a combination of maybe a little extra airflow inside here, how they designed it. Maybe most likely it's the bumper on the front of the bolt, that huge bumper that's on the front of the bolt. But I definitely noticed a lot less vibration with this Reflex over previous rails that I've shot in the past. It's a little bit smoother, not a lot. Still shoots like a DM with the LPR cranked up a little too high, but it definitely does feel a little bit softer. I don't know necessarily in terms of kick, but you definitely notice a lot less vibration shooting this versus shooting the previous years like the PMR 2010 and stuff like that. I also like that they raised the regulator a little closer to the body as opposed to on the previous, you know, the old PMRs had that little little stem of metal sticking down. I like it's, you know, definitely feels kind of like how the Victory's got that short reg. That's what it feels like in the hands. But they're a good shooting gun. I mean, I tell you what, if you've always been drooling over a DM, never quite had the money, the over $1,000 that it, you know, cost to buy a DM, I'd pick up the Reflex round. I wouldn't even think twice about it. Shoots great. You've got one regulator instead of two. Very simple to chronograph. You just simply, you know, back it out to increase, tighten it to decrease. I kind of look at it as like your water spigot at your house. You know, if you tighten it, the water flow goes down. Loosen it, the water flow goes up. Basically the same thing. You loosen it, you know, the air pressure goes up. You tighten it, the air pressure goes down. But it shoots great when it's out there on the field. It feels good. It's, you know, there's not a whole lot to do, you know, really say about it. But, you know, I do, you know, these little touches such as the accenting and also the contact pads in the front. I mean, those are just the kind of things for me when I'm out there playing. It's just little things that I really like to look forward to. Still not a big fan of the macro line coming out of the side, but the cool thing is that you've got the full adjustability of the ASA to move it forward or back depending on your tank, depending on your setup. You can move this pretty far forward, you can move it pretty far back, depending on how, you know, whatever size tank you want to and stuff like that. I typically like the longer setup, so I typically, you know, stretch my ASAs back a little bit. But this Reflex is a great gun. Like I said, I think it's priced exactly where it should be at. $500. It's worth $500. It shoots like $500 out there on the field. And you know, I didn't have any broken paint with the gun. We shot about 5 cases through it, including the efficiency test, and it performed great the whole time we had it. So $500, definitely Reflex rail. This is a very, very good gun, and it's definitely going to put a, you know, definitely goes right up there and competes against the E-Tech 3 in terms of a good $500 shooter. You know, if you want a gun that's a little bit quieter, feels like a DM, go with the Reflex. You want the efficiency of a, you know, of the Poppet, go with the E-Tech 3. But for a spool valve gun for $500, this is a great deal. Thanks for tuning in.